For years, people have been detailing their encounters with Bigfoot. This elusive creature has divided people over the years. Some think that the humanoid exists in small groups, while others have said that it's not possible that such a large humanoid exists. They point to the fact there would need to be a large group of them to survive, and if this was the case, they would be reported a lot more often. Others, however, disagree with this notion, and have said that for thousands of years now man has been encountering these giants. All over the globe there have been reports of them, from Tibet, America and even Australia. There's no shortage of stories. Ancient myths credit these creatures as having run-ins with humans, and when this happens it doesn't usually end well. Some have even managed to record some of their mysterious calls, and when given to scientists they've said that humans are unable to make these kinds of noises. One of the things that researchers have struggled to do, however, is present hard evidence. Although casts and footprints have been taken in various national parks across the world, researchers and skeptics have said these can easily be faked, and that it doesn't prove that an unknown humanoid is walking our planet. What's interesting though is discoveries have been made by some that could counter this argument. One of these comes in the form of an actual hand. The photograph was posted with the following statement: "As if 2020 couldn't get any more strange, a buddy of mine found what appears to be a Bigfoot hand getting chewed on by a cougar." When the photograph reached Bigfoot groups it generated a lot of discussion, with the majority of people believing that this hand was the real deal, and that it did belong to a genuine Bigfoot. As some have pointed out, it's not known what happened to the hand after the photo was taken, but some reports suggest that the cougar returned to finish off the meal. One of the biggest questions when it comes to Bigfoot is why we don't see their remains. Some have pointed out that if they're sharing our planet we should be seeing them more often. Bigfoot researchers have countered this though and explain they stay away from humans, further saying that they inhabit the dense forest regions of our planet, being mostly found in national parks and other large forested areas. Some noted, however, that every so often someone will come across Bigfoot remains, but they have usually been chewed up by a local predator. Others went on to say that they have seen similar looking things while exploring national parks. So is this the proof that we've finally been waiting for? Well, according to some, no. Some have offered an explanation for what we're seeing. One idea is that instead of belonging to Bigfoot it actually belongs to a beaver. Some, however, have said the object appears to be too big to fit the description of a beaver. As of right now though, not much information has been released about the photograph, so a positive ID cannot be assigned to the hand. Interestingly, many have reported their own sightings in national parks across the planet. Going back, the Washington State Department of Transportation posted the following on Twitter: "Sasquatch spotted. I'm not superstitious, just a little stitious. Have you noticed something strange on our Sherman Pass SR-20 webcam before? If you look close by the trees on the left there looks to be something. Might be a Sasquatch. We'll leave that up to you." One person went on to say the following: "Is the story that is a cardboard cutout that you guys put there because you were bored and wanted to generate some social media presence?" To which the Washington State Department of Transportation replied with the following: "It's not a cardboard cutout. I've never been up to the camera. There have been items put in front of cameras by locals in the area for 15 plus years. Just happened to notice this the other day when I was going to give a road conditions update on the pass. Then this happened." They also said that it wasn't photoshopped. One person said the following: "Although this photo may turn out to be fake, I've seen many mysterious creatures in this region. I'm someone that spent over 20 years in the outdoors and I've only encountered 4 of them. They are very elusive. They'll be gone before you can get close to them. This is why they are notoriously difficult to photograph. I've tried every single time I encountered one, and each time the photograph looks terrible. They move fast and are usually too far away to be picked up in a detailed image. I have no doubt in my mind that these ancient creatures exist in small clusters around our planet. I think soon that we will get proof. However, in all my experiences they don't seem keen on humans, and always try their best to keep a distance. Others however said the image showed gaps in the trees, and this is creating an illusion that something is there. Perhaps one of the most interesting Bigfoot stories is that of Albert Osman. The year was 1924. The gold rush may have been over, but that did not stop Swedish immigrant Albert Osman from giving gold prospecting a go. After spending years in construction and logging, Osman decided it was time for something different, and he thought he might as well get a little vacation out of it while he was at it. He had heard a rumour of a gold mine near Toba Inlet, near Vancouver, BC, Canada. The area was lush with trees and surrounded by mountains, the perfect getaway from his recent year-long construction job. He hired a local indigenous man as a guide to the head of the Toba Inlet. The guide was a talkative man and told Osman tales of the area. One tale even involved the alleged gold mine. According to him, there was a heavy drinking white man who would come and go from the mine, always having gold to spare. But one time he never came back from the mine. They suspected that a Sasquatch had taken him out. He described the creature as having hair all over its body, but stood upright like people, and they were big, approximately 8 feet tall, big enough to leave 2-foot-long tracks. Osman had never heard of such a creature and brushed the tales aside as folklore. Once the guard had dropped him at the site, Osman asked him to come back for him in 3 weeks. He would camp back at that particular spot once he was finished with his prospecting trip. Over the next week, he worked his way over 10 miles into the wilderness on the hunt for the elusive gold mine. After some time he came to the spot that he deemed perfect for his permanent setup. He was only there one single night when strange things started to happen. Osman awoke after a deep heavy sleep, to discover that his entire campsite had been disturbed. He hadn't heard anything the night before, and blamed it on an animal. On night 2 his backpack had been emptied. He noted that food had been taken. Instead of going out to look for gold, Osman hung around the camp, hoping to catch a glimpse of the culprit, but nothing showed itself. On the 3rd night he was determined to stay awake. He needed to know what was lurking in the darkness around his site. That however proved to be impossible. Having obviously fallen asleep, he was awoken by something picking him off the ground, still cocooned in his sleeping bag. After being dragged and carried for what he believes was 3 hours, Osman was finally dropped. He described hearing 4 voices, speaking in a language he didn't understand, but it was too dark to make them out. As the sun came up however, he got a good look. There was 4 of them, and he described them as an old man and an old woman, along with a young boy and a girl. He estimated the old woman to be over 7 feet tall and 500 pounds. The old man was even bigger than that. He was sure that his gun would not affect the large man, except for maybe angering him, so he sat and contemplated his escape. The family of Sasquatch kept him in a small valley for days, occasionally bringing him sweet roots as food. The young one who started out shy eventually took an interest in him. He made them water ladles and tossed them old snuff cans to play with, and that's when he came up with his escape plan. He'd once heard a story of a man blinding a bull by throwing snuff into his eyes. Next he threw the young boy Sasquatch another snuff box, this time with a teaspoon of snuff inside it. The boy tasted the snuff and then took it to the old man. It was obvious they enjoyed the taste of it and came back for more. Osman then knew he had to get the old man to eat the whole box of snuff, and then hopefully he could escape. Because of the interest in the snuff, the old man kept getting closer to Osman, eventually grabbing a box and pouring it into his mouth. He swallowed it in one gulp, before licking the box clean. After a few minutes the old man became sick. Osman saw this opening and ran. Using his rifle he shot warning shots as he escaped. He miraculously was not followed. He made his way down the mountain and finally into a nearby camp. He merely told the locals that he was lost, and did not mention the sight of a Sasquatch until much later, fearing being called crazy. Needless to say, he never tried prospecting again. So what do you make of these interesting photographs? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.